Hi 501 students, we are on Module 11, which is really exciting because we're close to the end, right? So you're probably looking at all the content and thinking, she must have forgot a PowerPoint. I did not forget a PowerPoint. I think the timing of this module last year fell closer to the immersion week, and so this was kind of my let's take a little breather after the immersion week module, but the way things panned out for this year, it ended up not being that. And so I probably should have flipped this with the ethics module. It is what it is. So there's a little less content for Module 11 as well, but there is no PowerPoint. I did want to provide you guys, and I'm just doing a really short lecture here, I wanted to provide you guys with a good amount of resources on neurocounseling, and I think the videos that I put up there are really useful in understanding and deepening your understanding of neurocounseling, what it is, and what it actually looks like in practice. The reason that I'm not talking to you a lot this week is because as much as I absolutely love and appreciate neurocounseling, and to me it's like, duh, yeah, of course. You know, to a degree, all counselors should be neurocounselors. It was not anything that I ever actively used in my own practice, and so I consider myself far from an expert in neurocounseling. But I think that there are experts out there that could give you a little bit more detailed information about that, what that looks like. Specifically, the Seth Grant video and the timeline of genetics and what that actually looks like. We've known for a long time, and especially with certain conditions, that there were these times in the typical developmental lifespan of a human that people were more prone to developing certain personality disorders, and on the other side of it, certain physical disorders. And so that's always been there. It's always been, I think, an understanding of people in the helping professions, and counselors included. But I obviously more recently, which, you know, thinking about what is considered recent, you know, neurocounseling has been around for quite some time. Neuropsychology has been around for some time now at this point, but it's such a budding area of research and understanding from a clinical perspective that, and I think day to day things change as our understanding of brain chemistry and how engaging with other people and activating certain areas of the brain, what that looks like, what the effects of substances are on our brain and chemical composition and all that, as all that changes and our understanding of the brain broadens, which is still a very little piece of understanding, but you know, I think that we can use this information to inform the work that we're doing with clients, and understanding that while we have known that there are certain benchmarks for certain conditions to pop up in someone's life, that, you know, if we're doing our job as counselors and continuing to develop competence in this area, then we're constantly doing some research on what that actually means. Why is it that people tend to receive a diagnosis of schizophrenia in those late young adult, early adult years of life? Well, now we know a little bit more about that because we have people that are much more intelligent than I could ever imagine to be studying brain chemistry and genetics around it. And so I'm just going to turn it over to the experts to tell you more about it. Know that I'm not expecting any of you to be, you know, incredibly well versed in the specifics of neurocounseling. I will admit that partway through Dr. Grant's material, I was even lost, but I think he did a nice job of bringing it all back and connecting it together, and using some concrete examples of when schizophrenia typically pops up and what we see genetically in humans during that part of their lifespan as well. So that's the more scientifically based lecture that you guys are going to watch. The other shorter video is just a simple one on biofeedback, and that's a very common technique for counselors to use. I think really, regardless of what theoretical orientation somebody is using, biofeedback can be useful. So it is something that we see actively practiced now. So another little nugget of information, the article that I put out on the counselor allegiance and client expectancy in neuroscience informed CBT, is that the one I'm thinking of? I believe. That paper, one of the authors of that paper, Eric Beeson, was actually a graduate of our program a number of years ago. So I think that's a little fun fact about where your career might take you. So I did want to provide that as an additional resource, because again, looking at what we were supposed to be covering in terms of the text, it's not a lot of content. So I hope you enjoy the information and are open to further understanding of neurocounseling, what that means for the profession. I think that it really opens the door for us to connect in a different way with our clients and to show them that they possess a lot of the tools already just in their mind, right, to make some changes that they feel like they want to make or need to be making. So we can, I think, really do we can help our clients achieve some goals if we're implementing some of these tools into the work that we're doing with our clients. With that, I'll leave you guys to the discussion board. I put a little practice activity up there, and the reflection paper number 3 is due, which it has to do with our revamped immersive week, and hopefully you've had some time to process the work that you guys did, the work that you did personally within the immersion week, and your observations and your skill development levels. You've been able to read my feedback. So with that, I will leave you all to the rest of the module, and have a great week.